Thanks to Thunder for giving me money. Into the Breach is a turn-based strategy game where giant alien bugs threaten humanity. We keep making our houses out of bug food and then saying, these giant bugs keep attacking us for some reason. We need some psycho with time travel abilities, that's you, to command a squad of jumbo death machines to stop them. Into the Breach is the work of Subset Games, headed by the talented artist Justin Ma and the talented programmer / boxed water drinker Matthew Davis. I love these guys. They've only ever made 2 games, but both of them completely hit it out of the park for me. No matter what is going on in the world, no matter what other terrible games I subject myself to, all I have to do is come back to FTL or Into the Breach and everything is lovely once again. I've already made a video talking about how much I love FTL, so today I'm gonna talk about Into the Breach. Well, less talk and more shitpost, but that's just what I do. My hope is that by the end of this video, if you haven't played the game before, you're gonna want to go buy it, and if you have played it before, you're gonna want to go install it again. I love Into the Breach. You should play it, and I'm gonna tell you why. First things first, you're gonna need to make a profile. Just name it something really good. Now we can talk story. Into the Breach's story was written by a man named Chris Avallone. Chris Avallone is credited as a writer on Fallout New Vegas and was the project lead on most of the DLC. As those of you familiar with the game may expect, Into the Breach has a similarly complex and interesting story. I'm going to try to break it down for you. Let me give it my best shot. I dedicate this Verac-splaining to all 5 women who are watching right now. You ready? Here we go. You fucked up! It's all ruined! Go back and do it again! Okay, that's it. Thanks, ladies. And Mr. Avallone. Anyway, all you need to know is this. Giant bugs called VHHYYYYYYY are eating Earth alive. You need to fight them with your giant piloted robots piloted by time travelers piloted by their tiny little brains. And whether you win or lose your run, you can choose a pilot to time travel back and try again. And they'll retain everything from the previous run. All of their abilities, their experience, and their knowledge.
Here, my grog.
First time you start the game, you'll be automatically playing as the Riftwalkers squad, piloted by Ralph Carlson. The Riftwalkers, despite being the starting squad, are probably one of the best squads in the game. The same cannot be said for Ralph, who is Babby's first pilot, but more on that later. It's time to drop into orbit. This is what's left of Earth. We just didn't recycle enough. I'm sorry, Greta. Actually, the Rising Tide is one of your strongest allies in this game because the VHHYYYYY cannot swim. So really, you should keep it up. The ocean needs more car batteries for humanity to beat the bugs. Giant bugs will kill the patient. He needs pollution to live. I forbid this. Don't care. More car batteries! Your mission is to save these last 4 tiny bastions of humanity, one oversized insect battle at a time. On your first playthrough, you'll have to take them in order from left to right, but after that you'll be able to play each island in whatever order you want. There's also a hidden 5th island that has a lot of bug noises coming from it, but I'm sure it's fine, don't worry about it! Each island has a different environment to interact with. This is important because you're almost always outnumbered, so you'll need to use the surrounding environment to your advantage. The first island has a temperate climate and plenty of water. It's used as an open-air museum dedicated to the Old World. What Old World means is that it's filled with alcohol and explosives. The second is a desert island. You can damage the sand tiles here to kick up a smoke cloud, blinding anything that sits on that tile. This island specializes in terraforming too, and in being really mean to me for no reason. The third island is an ice planet. This is where humanity keeps its robotics factories, which specialize in making robots that immediately try to kill us after they're built. Why do we keep making these? I don't know. The last island is industrial. Dangerous acid that causes units to take double damage from attacks is everywhere. It pours from the sky. It has replaced the water below. They keep the foul acid waste in containers just for fun. Everything is dirty and awful. It's actually the second Old World island, preserving Los Angeles as fondly as we remember it. Once you've got a top view of the islands, the game loop goes like this. Pick an island to defend. Pick a region to defend. Fight with your 3 mechs in that region without all 3 of them dying at the same time. Repeat that for 4 out of the 7 regions, and then all the bugs on the island get pissed and they send out their hive boss to attack the headquarters. Defend the headquarters successfully and the island is secure. Secure at least 2 of the 4 islands and you can take on the final boss. The final boss is a volcanic hive. That one I might have told you not to worry about. Well, now you do have to worry about it because there's lava everywhere and fire raining from the fucking sky. Oh, and by the way, it's actually 2 levels in 1. So you need to go down into the earth and then there's gonna be an anti-bug nuke and you gotta defend that. And if you don't defend that, we're all doomed. Good luck! Real quick side note, did you all know that I am Shinzo Abe's strongest soldier? Did you all also know that being his strongest soldier, as it turns out, is slightly more expensive than he lets on, and may continue to get more expensive within the next couple years? Why am I telling you this? No reason whatsoever. Completely unrelated to any of that, thank you to War Thunder for sponsoring this video. It's the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made. War Thunder puts you in PvP battles with over 2,500 tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships, ranging from 1920 to the modern day. From all 10 of your favorite countries, they have America and the other ones. Wow! I'd never played it till now, and I gotta say, I was impressed by the level of detail. You don't just aim at somebody and they generically blow up, they tell you exactly where the shell penetrated and which parts were affected. The level of detail isn't just in the vehicles either, it's in the sound and visuals too. For example, look at this, look at this, look at this! I also personally like not telling my wife that there are different game modes so I can just kill her instead.
So this is the racing mode, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. There's over 70 million players with a ridiculous amount of content. If you like any sort of military history, you'll love it. If you haven't played before, or if it's been at least 6 months, you can get a massive bonus pack by using the link in the description below. It's free, it's on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox, so go sign up with that link and have fun. Thanks again to War Thunder, now back to the video! Time to talk about combat. When you start combat, you'll get a view of the map, and the Vec are gonna spawn around this half of it. You can drop your guys on the opposite half of the map on these yellow tiles over here. Some veterans of the game will claim that your placement of mechs here is the most important decision of the entire fight. They will judge you for your placement, say, no, I wouldn't drop there, I would drop here. I'm here to tell you that whatever they're telling you, they're wrong. The wisest and smartest veterans of Into the Breach all know that the truest and realest strategy of all time is to trust your intuition and pick 3 fucking random spots on the map. The Vec know how to jump and fly. Combat is turn-based, and here are the basics of it. Every mech has 1 movement and 1 action per turn. You can undo movement, but you can't undo actions unless you spend your reset. Your reset comes from your time travel capabilities, but you only get 1 per battle, so use it wisely. In fact, you're gonna need to do everything wisely because combat is heavily skewed in the Vec's favor. The Vec always move first, they vastly outnumber you, they'll call reinforcements every turn, and they don't have to defend giant whiny buildings. There's Vec that fly, Vec that shoot, Vec that charge, purple Vec that are stronger than normal Vec, pink Vec that are pinker than purple Vec. However, you have a couple key advantages. 1. Humans are slightly smarter than bugs. Just slightly, let's not get ahead of ourselves. 2. You know exactly how each Vec is going to attack every turn and in which direction. Other strategy games, say XCOM for example, put a lot of focus on cover and flanking. Fire Emblem encourages the player to use a weapon triangle. That is, of course, in between the real video game, which is the dating sim. I like these games. But Into the Breach as a strategy game does something really unique here that I find very refreshing. It encourages the player to use the enemy as a weapon against themselves. You don't have the time or the numbers to simply strike them down like you're boxing every turn. So Into the Breach encourages something more like a strategy of judo, using the enemy's advantages, their numbers, against themselves. The father of judo, Jigoro Kano, explained it like this: adjusting to to, and evading your opponent's attack will cause him to lose his balance. His power will be reduced, and you will defeat him, thus making it possible for weaker opponents to beat significantly stronger ones. A lot of the weapons in this game follow that judo philosophy of adjusting to and evading your opponent's attacks. Use these weapons on a Vec, and you may not only damage them, but also push them, pull them, or spin them around. This is how you turn their advantage against them. Your squad may be smaller than the amount of Vec that they have, but if you control where they are and the direction that they attack in, you can defeat them. Last but not least, it would be remiss of me not to mention that a lot of this game's combat is about value, trying to get the most out of as few actions as you have. But I think you guys can figure that one out for yourselves. I'm sure you've all played a video game before, you're not all game journalists, and I want to talk about the mechs, so we're moving on. There is a wide variety of mechs to play with in this game. They are not all balanced, but they are all worth trying. And we are going to rank them. Normally, this is a difficult task. After all, a squad's ranking could be affected by the pilot that you're using, upgrades, the difficulty level, not to mention certain individual mechs being much stronger than other mechs in the same squad, and how that could affect the overall rating. However, not to worry. I am a YouTuber and God's strongest misinformist. This means I can just say things based on my personal experience instead of any objective standard. I can give arbitrary letter grades to whatever I want, because my word is law! Basically, this is a generalized list. It's just for fun. It's more geared toward the average new player's experience and how I sort of like and enjoy each squad. So if you play on unfair mode all the time and you're always going for 100%, 40k civ save, perfect island runs, try not to get too mad about it. But if you do get mad about it anyway, please feel free to let me know in the comments, speak up so I can see your name so that I can put you on the list for enslavement to build me a pyramid in my name. First of all, Riftwalkers is up here. They're S tier and it's not debatable. They are the backbone of the multiversal timeline economy. Meanwhile, these chuckle fucks are dying on Island 1 over and over because their mechs don't specialize in combat. They specialize in Malaysian underwater basket weaving. With that out of the way, now we cover all the other squads. Rusting Hulks! Check out my sick fate cloud, bro. The Rusting Hulks create smoke screens with their attacks. Enemies in smoke have their attacks cancelled, which is an amazing defensive option. Stopping a hive boss's entire turn with one ability makes you feel almost as cool as smoking in real life does. It's actually very similar to real life smoking, because guess who else gets affected by debilitating smoke clouds? You idiot! You've covered half the map in smoke, now you can't attack anywhere. Good job, dipshit! But still, it's pretty good, so B tier. Zenith Guard! People often describe the Zenith Guard as being one of the worst squads in the entire game, if not the very bottom. However, boosted big laser make me feel like Big Man. So instead of F tier, it's at least a D. Blitzkrieg! Woo! Oh yeah! Rolling around at the speed of sound. Got places to go, gotta follow my rainbow. S tier! Steel Judoka! Adjusting to and evading your opponent's attack will cause him to lose his balance, allowing you to follow up with an artillery strike, just as my original vision of judo intended. Hey, Tiri. Lame behemoth! This squad revolves around the mech with the cryo launcher weapon. It's very unique. It freezes enemies. It immobilizes them permanently until they get hit by something. But every time you fire it, it also freezes you, which means you need to bust yourself out of that ice somehow. In an ideal situation, you can get one of the Vec to do it. However, this game often puts you in non-ideal scenarios because the Vec attack randomly. Don't get me wrong though, I actually like playing as this squad. I think the freeze mechanic is a really fun idea and it's a cool challenge to have to try to interact with. It totally changes the way that you play the game compared to a lot of the other squads. That being said, solid F tier. Hazardous Mech. These guys are very good at dealing damage to themselves. If you're Japanese, these guys are pretty good. If you're not, C tier at best. Secret Squad. It's the Rift Walkers, but they're bugs! A lot of people don't like this team, but I do. I just think they're neat. They're a solid team that were originally the final reward for getting all of the achievements in the game. But when the free Advanced Edition update came out, now you can get them a little earlier because there's more squads and more total achievements to get. I recommend swapping their color palette because otherwise you're gonna forget which units are yours if you glance at your second monitor content for too long, like right now if you're playing my video while playing the game. I got you looking over here, you little bitch. A tier! Bomber Mechs. Extremely flexible squad with many tactical options. You've got a damage and a push that pierces, artillery that throws a little bomb dude, and a mech that can swap any 2 units. The only downside? You have to use your brain. Brain tier! Arachnophile. They're S tier. Mist Eaters! These guys smoke, but hold it in. They're pretty much a straight upgrade to the Rusting Hulks. Easy S tier. Heat Sinkers. I despise the idea of a flamethrower that does not actually throw flames. F tier. Cataclysm. This squad can simply remove the tiles that the Vec are trying to play on. And for that alone, I put them in A tier. And there you have it, a definitive and objective list with no flaws whatsoever. Hope you liked it. Wait, hold on, I still gotta tell you about the pilots. There are 2 types of pilots. Time Traveler pilots, which are the ones you choose at the start, and core pilots, pilots sent by the island corporations, aka cannon fodder. And none of this is counting the AI pilots that take over by default if you get somebody lanced. Time Travelers and Cannon Fodder both can level up by killing Vec, which gives them random pilot abilities. But only Time Traveler pilots come with an inherent special trait. These traits mean that even the most underwhelming Time Traveler is still better to have around than a core pilot. You can unlock new Time Travelers via getting a perfect island or via Time Pods. Time Pods are care packages from your original timeline. Defend it from the Vec, open it up, see what your mom sent you. Yes! Combos! And I guess a new pilot to whatever. I'm not sharing my combos with you, motherfucker. Get your own. All Time Traveler pilots are better than the Cannon Fodder ones, but relative to one another, there are power differences. To help you understand those differences better, I've made a little chart here. As you can see here, these guys are pretty good. These guys are really good. These ones are underwhelming. Remember, still good to have them over an AI pilot or a Cannon Fodder pilot, but still underwhelming. These are the robot pilots who require reactor cores for their abilities to come online, which is important because you could otherwise use those reactor cores to upgrade your mechs. So their pilot abilities come with a cost. Oh, and that's Adam. These are all your pilots to play with. Try to unlock them all, see them for yourself, see which ones fit your playstyle the best. Oh, and one more thing. What if I told you there was a secret group of pilots stronger than all of these guys? Those of you who don't want spoilers, cover your ears. This is a secret just between me and the rest of the audience. I'm talking to you right now. Listen up, alright? I'll tell you how to get the good shit. On any level with mountains or ice, there's a small chance that if the mountain or ice tile gets damaged, that you'll see a little yellow beacon. You'll have to completely break that tile so that you can run over and grab the beacon. Then, on the next turn, a special time pod is gonna drop down. If you defend that pod till the battle's over, you'll get to open it. Notice anything different about this one? That's right, it's part of the Kestrel. We got FTL pilots, baby! And they're overpowered as fuck! We got reps for the Mantis, Rockmen, and Zoltan races from FTL. Although the Zoltan is by far the strongest. And once you unlock them, you can start your game with them like any other Time Traveler pilot. I love that they're in the game as this little tribute to Subset Games' previous title. I think it's a really nice touch. And I love this game in general. Into the Breach is deceptively simple in concept and extremely satisfying in execution. If this video has entertained you at all, even for 2 seconds of my stupid goofs, I hope you'll consider supporting the developers by buying their game. They deserve it. Go check it out, go replay it if you've already bought it, and tell me your experience with it below. That's all from me, folks. Thanks again to War Thunder. Bonus pack link in the description for new and returning players of at least 6 months. Free on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. Go check them out. And a special thank you to all of my video elites and connoisseurs on Patreon. You are all as lovely as always. The last few months have been kind of a whirlwind for us. We've been very busy and sick, and you might even hear some of my sick voice in this video. So I just want to say thank you all again. Your support means a lot. The next video might be something a little different. It also might take a little bit longer than usual. We'll see. I have a few ideas, but I don't want to spoil anything just yet. So we'll get there when we get there. When I have something to reveal about it, the people on Patreon will be the first to know. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see ya in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.